Next is sample space. Sample space is the collection of all the outcomes, of all the possible outcomes. A collection of all possible outcomes. For example, and here's where you got to use a little organizational skill here. For example, let's say you flipped a coin, the sample space for flipping a coin 3 times. That is listing all the possible combinations. And one way to do that is make like a tree sort of diagram, and you can do it one way or another. Let's do this. In your first flip, if you flip a coin just once, what are your outcomes? You could either get just a head, right, or a tail. Okay, so that's your first flip. Well, in your second flip, after you get your head or tail, you make little branches off this. On your second flip, you can get either a head or a tail to go with the head, or you can also get a head or a tail to go with the tail that you flip. And then your third flip, off of each of those, after you get a head and a head, the next time you could get a head or a tail, or a head or a tail, or a head or a tail, or a head or a tail. And your sample space would look like this. Here are your outcomes. You go head, head, head. You go head, tail, head. I'm sorry, head, head, tail. Are you with me? Head, head, tail. Or you go head, tail, head. Or you go head, tail, tail. That's if you flip a head first. If you flip a tail first, you could go tail, head, head, tail, head, tail, 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 head, or tail, tail, tail. So how big is your sample space if you do a coin 3 times? How many different outcomes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where did I miss one? Which one did I miss? Head, 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 oh, head, tail, head, head, tail, tail. Oh, I got them there. I just didn't count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your sample space has 8 different combinations there. And with that, you could say, okay, what's the probability of at least getting 2 heads? How many of these have at least 2 heads? Well, does this one have 2 heads in it? Yes, it actually has 3. Does this have 2 heads in it? Yes, it has 2. Yes, this has 2 heads. Yes, this has 2 heads. Tail, head, tail. What's this? Tail, tail, head, tail, tail, tail. So what is your probability? Well, how many total things were there? 8. How many of them had at least 2 heads in it? 4. So 4 eighths, 1/2. Let me ask you this question. What would be, using this sample space, what are the odds of getting all tails? What would be the odds of getting all tails? Odds of getting all tails? Carteret?
1.7.
1, 2, 7. Why? Because there's 1 favorable 7 that aren't small potatoes. 1 to 7 would be your odds. Perfect, take out a blank piece of paper.